Scott Baker here, Chairman of Precinct 23 in Montgomery County. I come to bring you another update on what's going on with the Republican Party in Montgomery County and point out some more problems that are going on and hopefully get maybe some help from you. So the title of this is Montgomery County Republicans Can't Support Steve Toth. And you might say that's an odd title, Scott. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Last year, the Montgomery County Republican Party Executive Committee, the CEC, changed their oath of office to say, I will support only non-censured Republican candidates in the general election. This was part of a larger initiative on the part of the county chair, Gwen Withrow, co-chair or vice chair, John Boucher, SREC rep Dale Inman, and some other party insiders who have been working with the RPT for the last few years to weaponize the party rules and processes against their political opponents. Essentially, they're taking over the Republican Party and trying to lock themselves and their associates in power. However, their convoluted rules and the new oath they've put in place have, quite predictably, now put them in a rather awkward position. For reference, on the left is the previous oath of office. On the right is the new, improved oath of office. And you see the highlighted part here, I will support only non-censured Republican candidates in the general election. So how does this involve State Rep Steve Toth? Well, last week, State Rep Steve Toth, Republican, has launched a primary challenge against U.S. Rep Dan Crenshaw for Texas's 2nd Congressional District. Now, this may be impacted by redistricting in the future, and I don't know what it means as far as his House seat now. For now, he doesn't have to step down, but I believe in the future he will have to step down to run for this. And he'll have to run in the primary. Steve Toth is a 5-term lawmaker in Montgomery County and has historically aligned with the most conservative faction of the Texas House, according to Texas Scorecard. So, conservative Republican Steve Toth is running for Congress. Well, last year, conservative Republican Steve Toth was censured by the House Republican Caucus for violating House Republican Caucus rules. What happens if Steve Toth wins the primary and is elected to the Republican nominee for the general election? Will the CEC hold to their oath and not support Steve Toth? Or do they violate their oath to support him? If they violate their oath, will the CEC members be censured? How does this oath even make sense? Why wouldn't we want to support Republican candidates in a general election when they're running against Democrats? So how did this happen? Well, these rule changes and changes to the oath were intended for use against other state reps and party officials, including Rep. Will Metcalf, whom Mr. Boucher, the co-chair, vice chair of the Republican Party of Montgomery County, is currently running against. There was a failed attempt earlier this year, which I made several videos about, and I encourage you to go watch them. That effort was to censure Reps Metcalf and Bell in Montgomery County, 2 House districts in Montgomery County, for, among other things, allegedly violating House caucus rules. The goal was to use those censures to exclude them, the reps, from the primary ballot entirely so that we, the Republican voters, wouldn't even have the chance to vote for them. If that didn't work, the new party rules would allow these party insiders to use the party machinery to actively campaign against the censured candidates in the primary election. You should know this has not been done before. It has always been the rule of the Montgomery County Republican Party up until now to not endorse or campaign against Republicans in the primary election, which is Republican against Republican. They want to change that, and they're using these rules to do that. That's what this was attempting to do. The new oath to not support censured candidates would serve as effectively a gag order. That would be on any candidate's supporters, right? And the CEC, the so-called grassroots, which are the active representatives of each precinct around the county, right? They would not be able to support a censured candidate based on this oath. It doesn't make any sense, as I've just pointed out, but that's nevertheless the oath they've put in place. You see here down at the bottom, here's Vice Chairman John Boucher of the Montgomery County Republican Party. Not a countywide elected position, appointed by the CEC. John Boucher is running for House District 16 against Will Metcalf, House District 16. John Boucher is part of the effort to remove Will Metcalf from the ballot and not give you a chance to vote either way. So this is freedom, right? I've been working to stop these efforts to take over the Republican Party and control of the primary elections for several years now. There's some other good folks that have been fighting with me. I think the Montgomery County Republican Party is headed in a very bad direction. And these new rules and efforts are already causing damage to the party. Freedom of speech and association are our God-given rights. They're protected by our Constitution for a reason. I believe no matter which candidate you support in an election, you should be free to support and vote for them. If you want to support and vote for Steve Toth, you should be free to do so. If you want to support and vote for Will Metcalf or Cecil Bell, or heck, even John Boucher, you should be free to do so. These rules are terrible, and as should be completely obvious by now, simply unworkable. And I don't believe that Montgomery County Republicans want party insiders choosing our candidates for us, or telling us who we can or can't vote for. I'm going to continue to fight to get rid of these terrible party rules, both at the state and the county level. The people who wrote them and put them in place will not give them up easily. I could really use your help. Contact your precinct chair and talk to them about this. Or consider running for precinct chair yourself. I'm fighting this because I believe in our Constitution. I believe in free speech. I believe in the United States of America. And I prefer dangerous freedom to their safe tyranny. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you watch my other videos. I hope you'll like and forward these on and share them with folks so that they can see what's going on, they can become aware, and they can get involved wherever they can. I appreciate you watching my videos. I appreciate your support. I thank you. God bless you. God bless Texas. And God bless the United States.